episode of the Denver Lynx Radio podcast. My name is Juno. I'm your host. This is my first time hosting, like I said, so a little nervous, but I think I'll be all right. I'm pretty good at talking, so I can do that for a long time. I hope you guys are too.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. Well, thanks for coming. So, all right, let's get into it. I, just as a precursor, I've stalked you guys social media a little bit. So
Nice.
I really like your music, the SoundCloud, things like that. So pretty big fan. But yeah. So my first question is obviously you guys are based in Fort Collins, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So are you guys students at CSU? Is that what brought you there?
Josh and I are.
You guys are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what about the other two?
Well, I started out as a student. I tried my best hand at that, and you know what? Had no idea what I was doing. So
That's
I
all right.
decided to just focus on working, which me and this guy work on a ranch together.
Oh, really?
And
That's awesome.
and then just ranching and music.
There
That's
you
what
go.
we do.
That's kind of what I did too. I took this most recent semester that I guess is still going on a break because I was I'm a physics major and that shit is so hard. So can't do it.
That was a tough thing.
Yeah, I'm just it's fun, but I have to take a break. And I also had to work, so I totally get it. But I wish I worked on a ranch. I just do retail in my free time. So not a ranch. You guys just what do you do? Ride horses?
No, we're the
No?
opposite side of that. We're on the
Okay.
construction side.
I
so
see.
Doing a lot of masonry.
Okay.
It's a redneck wonderland out there. So
Oh yeah.
they want us to build everything: chapel, bridge, walls, landscape, an island, or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
I imagine. Does that cut into any music at all? Any time for that?
we just burn at both ends. That's
Yeah.
how we've always done it. We get off at 4 or 5, get home by 6,
Wow.
eat dinner, shower, play music, go to bed, do it again.
Sounds like kind of a sweet life though.
Yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't
fun.
mind that at all.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Dude,
cool.
tell him about your finger.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that was a kind of a blessing in disguise. I almost chopped off my pointer finger right here.
Oh my god.
Big old boulder came down in between a bucket and
And by bucket, he means a steel-plated bucket for a machine. Not
Yeah,
a
it was-
plastic. one.
Not like a
Six-
plastic tub.
600-pound bucket.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
steel blade on the end.
Which my boss was like, "You're good, right? Keep working." I was like, "Yeah, I'm in. Yeah.
No OSHA regulations. Just
No,
go
ma'am,
for it.
Nothing. But I ended up having to get 10 stitches that day on my finger. But
Oh my
after
God.
I splinted it up, I had to play with my pinky more.
Okay.
Right? So that kind of unlocked that ability.
There you go. It was the universe was just pushing you in that
Yeah,
direction.
exactly.
I guess.
So
So
now I got full range and grew back with a little extra skin there, so
Okay.
I got extra.
got a
extension.
callus so you can okay.
Yeah.
I see it.
He's got a little ledge. Nub.
Right, there you go. So in Fort Collins, would you say most of your audience then is CSU students? I'm really harping on this point, but I have to ask because I'm
Yes, CSU students and also just people who are in Fort Collins in the area,
People in
I'd
the
say.
area.
Yeah.
for sure.
I think we tailored to an older crowd too. Though.
Really? Yeah.
Mhm.
I was gonna
For sure.
say
'Cause
with the
it's
sound.
it's a new sound, but we take from our idols.
Yeah, I was gonna get
Yeah,
into that later,
exactly.
and that kind of ties into a question later. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. So
Okay.
cool. Yeah. So I guess what started you guys all individually playing music, getting into music, childhood influences, anything like that, playing from a young age.
For me, I'll say it how my parents say it. Grew up in my parents' backseat,
Mhm.
literally. So just growing up with all those tunes. God, it feels like 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. I mean, all the stuff
Wow.
I was listening to. And then later in high school, came up to my buddy called me up and was like, "Hey, thinking about doing a concert for prom during this whole quarantine kind of type deal."
Oh yeah.
He's like, "Can you sing?" And I was like, "No idea, but we'll try it." So I went over there, tried it out, and now here we are.
Right. And so
So-
you're the vocalist, the lead vocalist.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, yeah, you can definitely sing. So
Thank you.
unlock that
Thank
talent
you.
for sure. That's awesome. What about everyone else?
Shoot. I lived in California before all
Okay.
this, so I was into a lot more I played a reggae concert. I played for our school a couple times. Just
church choir.
yeah, church. I played at the church too. Just kind of anything that came my way. It was more of just a little hobby. Had a music room upstairs and
Yeah.
just decided to grind all the time.
What area of California?
Bakersfield.
Oh,
He's saying the armpit of
Yeah.
California.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's,
Oh,
I would say I started music because of that guy. Me
Mhm.
and him have been growing up together since 7th grade, and when he picked up guitar, I was like, okay, cool, that sounds fun.
So you
Piano.
both.
And-
He started on piano.
Well, I started on piano, and then he pretty much taught me everything I knew on guitar. And
Wow.
when it came time to need a bassist,
So you
I
both-
drew the short end of the straw.
You both came from
Bass is sick.
California.
What do you
You both came from California to Colorado together.
Yeah.
Wow. It was like that was a joint decision or just a coincidence?
No,
Joint decision.
kind of out of nowhere too. We
Right.
had enough rent for like 1 month, but we wanted to get the heck out of there, so
Yeah.
packed up all our stuff,
Just
found an
too
apartment.
it's too expensive in California.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of during COVID, so it was like we were both going to school,
Mhm.
and they're like, you got to do it online.
I don't know.
So we were like, we're not going to live in some expensive
Middle of
house when we
nowhere.
can just go to Colorado, do it online, which was, I don't know, maybe a bad idea. I dropped out a few times, but I think it turned out great. So
I think it worked out. There you go.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
I like
Cool.
Josh is also from California.
Oh yeah.
A little
I'm
bit of a
from
nicer
California.
Okay.
Yeah. California.
I started playing drums because of the power of the kick drum.
Mm-hmm.
Just feeling that as a kid, and then like I was in school band for a little bit, but it wasn't my style. So
Right.
I
Band
came back
kid.
to the drums. Yeah, I came back to the drums around senior year of high school, and then I've just been playing ever since. Actually, except for freshman year of college,
Oh yeah.
because you can't play in the drums.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair enough.
But I got a guitar, and then Will played that probably more than me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all had to decide who was gonna like actually not play guitar in the band and who was gonna do something else, or was it?
It was kind of just honestly, it was like subliminal almost because we all just kind of did what we did
Yeah.
and kind of just all meshed together, which is
Yeah.
kind of really the only way I can put it. I mean,
Everything fell into place pretty easy.
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
It's nice.
Yeah. So that leads me to my next question. How'd you guys meet then? If you're all from different places at
So,
school.
it's kind of funny. Like literally, we're all from all over the place. But for me, I'm from Minnesota, up
Mhm.
north, and it was kind of funny. I came out to CSU here to go to school. It was kind of a shot in the dark. Just it was like, screw it, let's go for it. I didn't really know anyone, and I met Josh first because he was roommates with one of my friends who was talking to his roommate somewhat. So.
Oh.
Yeah, so I got to meet Josh and I got to meet all of him and his friends at the time, and we just started talking about music from there.
Mhm.
And then about like a year later, these guys came into the picture. I was like, "Hey, guys, you guys want to start a band?"
There you go.
Kind of, yeah, and it's just kind of shaking off from there, I guess.
That's pretty cool.
The guy who dragged us out here, actually, Jace. We always got to bring up Jace.
Yes,
Yeah.
we got to bring him
Guy
in.
in the
Jace.
green jacket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No.
Always comes back to Jace, but he moved out here and he said it was awesome. And all of our friends are moving away from Bakersfield, so screw it. We're going to Colorado, and Jace was roommates with Josh over there, and that's kind of how we all came together.
Gotta be careful saying you're from California to Coloradans.
Oh, I know.
Have you guys gotten like a lot of heat about that? Like,
I mean, not in Fort Collins. There's a lot of Californians
Oh,
in
yeah.
Fort Collins.
it's a college city, but like,
There's a lot of sarcastic heat behind it
Yeah.
in California.
Yeah, I mean,
People always say it, but then they're always
They don't
when we
really
drive up
care.
to Wyoming though for the rant,
Oh
we
my
pull up with our long hair. Sometimes with the California plates, they're like, "Who are these guys?" But
mhm.
it's all right. We'll deal with it.
No,
I
it's
almost didn't get let into work one time because I pulled up in my car with the California plate,
Subaru.
and they were like, "What are you doing? I'm here to work." Are you really?
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yes, I work here on this ranch.
Well, I mean, like I'm from the South, and I was born in Arkansas. I grew up there, which is like
Nice.
middle of nowhere, but I think it's a hidden gem for sure.
Not as bad as Nebraska though.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
my
well, I think we can all agree Nebraska is not the greatest.
that's pretty bad.
I've only
Oh,
driven
nice.
through it, and I didn't like it. So,
Every single year, 2 times a year,
Mhm.
there and back.
so you drive back to Minnesota?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't
Mhm.
fly?
Oh, I do sometimes, but it's like I'm going there for like a long period of time. So
Yeah. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, but like I went to high school in Texas, so when I came
Oh, nice.
here in my car, I had Texas plates, Texas tags, and like I remember the first week I was here, I was driving with my mom, like because I have like family who lives here, so that was my main motivation. And like driving from their house to my dorm to unload, and like people were like honking and flashing their lights because I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And my family was like, it's because you have Texas plates. I'm like, I was going like 20 over the speed limit, and they were still like,
Right.
yeah, they just don't like us here. But
Yeah.
that's okay. I didn't like Texas either, that's why I left. So,
Whereabouts in Texas were you from?
Dallas,
Oh, nice.
right between Dallas and Fort Worth, in this little city
My
called.
mom's side of the family's from Fort Worth, so that's just why
Yeah.
I asked. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like
Mhm.
Fort Worth. It's all right. I just was like more towards Dallas, so it's like kind of where I hung
Awesome.
out the most.
Nice.
I mean, it's pretty much the same in both cities, in my opinion. DFW Metroplex. So. Yeah, cool. So, what are your biggest musical influences? Because I have a guess, but I want to let you answer before I guess, like bands wise and things like that. Like
You want
artists.
new or old?
We'll go with like chronological, so we'll go from old to new, I guess.
You want me to start it off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this for like individual or is this like all of us together?
Both, yeah.
Oh boy. I'll let somebody else answer the
All right,
all together
all right.
one. But for me, honestly, I mean, it's goes back way deep. I mean, it's just kind of all of us when we put all of our styles of music together that we like, our genres, whatnot. They all just like kind of just sparks a lot of ideas that we all bring to the table,
Mhm.
and it creates what I call Stil Runnin, I guess. And
Yeah.
it's I think it's really impactful to a lot of other people too, and it's really influential because we'll just sit there and it'll be like, how can you guys make this after like we're
Right.
kind of recreating a sound almost from like older generations. It's kind of hard, but I feel like it's hard to come together. I mean,
It's our own sound. though.
yeah, for
And
And
sure.
it's very bluesy. Like it's like a lot of rock now has a lot of pop in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost all rock right now has a lot of pop in it.
Yeah.
But like when you listen to our sound compared to that, there's like heavy blues in our sound.
Yeah, definitely a bit slower in some areas for sure, a bit more bluesy. That's what I really liked about it though. It was like it just was almost like I was listening to it at work actually, because I was like a few days before I was supposed to come here. So it was like Thursday, and I was listening to it while I was like doing stuff in the back, and I was like, this is like Led Zeppelin-y, very like,
Right on.
yeah, that's exactly. And I was texting my boyfriend about it, and I was like, the lead singer sounds almost exactly like Robert Plant, and I was like, I don't know if that's too much for you, but
I mean, I get it here and there. I get a lot of different things that we've been called Aerosmith. Yeah, it's just kind of the streaking, I guess.
Mhm.
What kind of, I guess,
Yeah,
turns
yeah,
people
tearing it up.
yeah, for
Sure.
sure. So for you, it's more like you said 40s, like in 60s, and within that period.
Kinda,
for
yeah,
you.
I lean more towards the old school stuff. Like
Okay.
kind of right when it's like you have like rhythm and blues kind of transferring over into rock and roll. And you kind of Elvis around that time.
Yeah.
But kind of also like BB King areas, Who,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
Chuck
So
Berry.
it sparks it all together, and it just kind of awakens it almost from like its core. And that's what I feel like sparked a lot of things that we now call pop and rock today. So,
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. That makes
He
sense.
definitely keeps us centered though. It's like
Yeah.
I like a lot of the cleaner sounds.
Mhm.
I like Santana and all that stuff, but I think sometimes we can get a little heavy.
Oh yeah.
we can get a little
Yeah.
heavy sometimes, and he's got that classic voice that kind of keeps us more actual rock and roll than into the more metal side of things.
Yeah, more
and
like grungy kind of vibe.
yeah. Which don't get me wrong, I mean,
It's pretty
Chris
damn cool.
Cornell's my hero, but
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite genres, and so I'm partial to it. But
Yeah.
I'll listen to anything.
yeah,
So
I like mashing it up though. I think
yeah.
we all kind of bring a little extra spice that makes it something new.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
It's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
What about anyone else? Like musical influences, or I guess idols maybe is a good idea, like a word to say, or like that inspires your sound.
For me, who I learn from the most right now is Joe Dart and Victor Wooten. Those are my two favorite bassists.
Mhm.
They preach about simplicity, but they also have some of the most intricate bass lines I've ever heard. And so they just teach about how to blend slap bass and finger picking and chords and everything. And I mean, I've only been playing the bass for a year and some change, so I still have a lot to learn. And so I'm taking influences from everywhere I get. I mean, I still learn from him every day. He's
Mhm.
been teaching me music since I started 7 years ago.
Mhm.
So, my idol though, I mean, I wouldn't say I exactly have an idol. I just want to keep playing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You do kind of learn something different from every artist.
For sure. Yeah. I tried to learn bass about, maybe 5 years ago. And I was like, that's way too complicated. Because you think it's easy going into it. Because it's like, oh, it looks simpler than guitar. But really, it's like its own world. Like, it's really difficult. But
it has a whole nother warmth
It definitely
really
does.
excited, which makes me.
So I respect that a lot. Yeah.
What were you saying when you were like, you could never hit a wrong note on bass?
No, you can't. You can never hit a wrong note on bass as long as the vibe is flowing and as long as you're grooving. Well, I guess you can't hit a wrong note. If you hit a wrong note, the note that comes after it determines whether that note was wrong.
Just a
But-
jazz note.
But yeah, we'll just call it an accent, you know. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of tricky,
Mhm.
like balancing simplicity with like showing off your skill,
Yeah.
because we definitely want to show the people that we're good,
Mm-hmm.
musically talented. We want to be respected as musicians, but it's also about the feeling in the room. You know,
Yeah.
it's like people aren't going to really listen until you draw them in with that feeling.
Right.
So
Victor Wooten.
Victor Wooten,
Yeah, he was like, you gotta like give them something that they know, and then once they know it, then you can change it. But if you just go in like with a bunch of craziness, they're gonna be like, they're listening, but they're not really feeling it.
Yeah, that's the other thing he said. That video you sent, when he's like, people don't remember what you look like. They're not gonna remember the dance moves you did. They're gonna remember how you made them feel.
exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess that also depends. Would you say it depends on the venue you're playing? Is like the sound you bring. Like if
Definitely.
you're playing like a bar, you want to be like chill.
Well, you got to tailor it. You know, if it's
Yeah.
a rowdy bar and we can get some blues that'll make you move, that's what people want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if it's a theater and you want people to kind of, I don't know, shoot off into orbit, you know, you want them
Right.
to get them in their feels, and we'll try and tailor it. It's tough when you don't have a whole lot of originals to
Mhm.
tailor to. So we've stepped back from covers a little bit,
Yeah.
just to kind of upgrade our sound. You can read a room
Mm-hmm.
and decide what parts of your song are good, what parts need some work, you know,
Yeah.
just based, because we're the worst judges. And when we're just down in our
Right.
basement, you know, we can think something sounds awesome, and then you play it in front of a bunch of people and you're like, oh, I didn't get the reaction I thought.
Or
So,
sometimes you're overly critical of something and then you don't want to play it, and then you try it and it turns out to be like a hit. I feel
Totally.
like that happens a lot
Oh, yeah.
too. So
oh, yeah.
it's hard. Like, I mean, I've only been in like little small bands in like high school and stuff, and even that I was like way too focused on it. So I can only imagine like an actual large scale kind of like full-time band. That'd be very difficult.
Well, we're pretty blessed. We have a lot of people that just love the music,
Yeah.
that help us out. Bravo, Dennis,
Mhm.
Jess, they all. I mean, we get a lot of time to just work on the music because we don't have to worry about our sound, social media, all that kind of stuff. They help us out a lot.
Oh, so the
So-
people run that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and like we were saying, how everything kind of just fell into place. Bravo, guy
Mhm.
who does our sound, just happened to be in the house right next to us.
Wow.
So, yeah, and he helps us out with our merch, sound engineering, a good ear. You know, another set of ears is always good. So,
Wow. You were just in the house next to you guys?
yeah,
That's like
Yeah.
divine intervention. That is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
He came over, we moved in, and we had like the biggest party we ever had. The first, what was that weekend? And he comes over, he's like, yeah, man, I'm your neighbor, and I'm an audio engineer. And I was like,
And I brought a 30 rack. Here you go.
Yeah. That's
Some good beer.
insane. Wow. Well, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because Fort Collins, from what I've been told, is like the second biggest like music city in Colorado.
There's
I think-
another our across the street neighbor plays in a band too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
kind of like a whole musical neighborhood going on there.
yeah, it's cool.
Fort Collins is pretty big on music.
For sure.
And we haven't stepped too far out just because there's a lot to conquer in Fort Collins, you know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, shoot, not too long ago we were dreaming about the Aggie Theater, and here we are playing it a bunch, which
There you
is pretty awesome. It's a pretty nice venue, and there's still some places we haven't reached though. So
Mhm.
we're starting to invade Denver, but another huge place for music. So
Yeah.
Colorado
No.
will take a while.
I've been here
sure.
for 2 years and I still have like only glimpsed, I think, like the
Okay.
music scene. Like I usually do like DIY like venues and stuff like that at my friend like house shows or whatever, and like even that feels like a lot to me. So I can only imagine like, I mean, you have places like the Fillmore in like
Oh, yeah. Places
downtown.
are awesome.
Yeah, we were
the
just
Ogden
saying.
Theater. Yeah, it's like
Mm.
I've been to venues there and it's just insane. And the Mission Ballroom, of course, is like nuts. So I feel like every city in Colorado is like its own world to conquer as far as music
Yeah.
goes and just culture in general. But you could say that about anywhere. But it's insane. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't. So what about your musical influence? I didn't get you, and I feel bad. So I wanted to ask.
Specifically, do you know Ginger Baker? He part of Cream. like
Yeah.
Eric Clapton.
I was actually going to bring that
Um,
up as like what I
yeah.
thought you sound kind of like Cream a little bit. So Eric
Yeah,
Clapton.
They're cool. The way that he recorded his drums was like very like he just recorded the room. Typically you kind of like take out a lot of the mid range,
Mhm.
but like if you listen to Cream, it's like you can really hear like frequencies that you wouldn't typically hear in a drum sound.
Yeah.
And Ginger Baker's also insane, which I love. Like
Mhm.
he practices all the time consistently. But yeah, I typically look at specific drummers. So Ginger Baker, there's this guy named Dan Mayo. He's an Israeli drummer. He's really sweet. But as far as like actual bands, like Greta Van Fleet definitely is one of our influences. We kind of feel like they're more of our peers, and we love to meet them too. But like their sound is huge. What they've done with rock and roll, it's pretty amazing. Like before it, like they're another blues-based band, and they have songwriting that's it just stays away from pop, you know, like it's true rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
And that hadn't been a thing for a while.
Yeah.
So we really respect them.
So are you guys like trying to collectively shy away from pop and like just do purely like rock and roll? Are you like okay with venturing into other genres like jazz, anything like that?
I'd like to think we don't have limits.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with
I
that.
definitely like to get jazzy and funky with it
Mhm.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, honestly, whatever kind of people makes people move their feet
Mm-hmm.
and have a smile on their face. Honestly,
Yeah.
we for me, I mean, I like everything. I'm not gonna hold a grudge against whatever, but whatever comes our way, I guess we're gonna take it or leave it.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah,
Wanting to like honor your fans, but also stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
for sure. Yeah. And I heard talks of grunge and stuff like that too. So.
Yeah, I mean, anything could be grunge. You turn the gain up a little bit.
Yeah.
We're down here this weekend to record one of our songs, and it's one of the verses is it's so funky.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it still sounds so rock and roll. I mean, you'll hear it soon enough.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. I also want to clarify, I don't not like pop. Like I grew up listening to my mom's iPod, like
Yeah.
Usher, Britney Spears. And but like I don't know. Pop it's very standard, you know, and I get bored of it, so I like to push boundaries and
No,
see what
for
else
sure.
we can do.
I think like anyone, I mean, like the only thing about pop is that it's like constantly in the rotation of like, you know, top
Yeah.
100s. And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Like if you're dominating the music scene, that's a good thing. But I think people can get bored pretty fast. Like, I mean, some of the top pop creators, I think like what Doja Cat says she wants to go into punk now. It's like people I think are kind of wanting to venture into something a bit more obscure. And that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Like wanting to not do something doesn't mean you don't like what you're kind of going against, I think. So
Yeah, I agree.
sure. Yeah. I mean, it's like all just about what you want, what makes you happy. So I like some pop songs too, though. I mean, I grew up listening to my mom's music too. She would put on like the VH1 like music videos on her TV, and I was just
Oh,
like,
really?
oh my god, Britney Spears, like shit like that. It's awesome. So
Also, I want us to love our own music.
oh yeah,
And I mean, I don't know. One of our influences up in Fort Collins, Chuck Morris. We had a meeting with him,
wow.
and he told us to if we don't feel like we can play a song for the rest of our lives, then don't record it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if our energy's not up there on stage with the song, then it's not going to hit like
Right.
it normally does. So we try to make it at least a little bit intricate so we can still rock out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we want to feel the music too.
Would you guys so in that sense, are you more of a stage presence a huge factor for you? Are you very you know presentive with it?
Absolutely massive factor.
Mhm.
in my opinion, you got coming to a show. Yeah, you're going to listen to music, but you're also
Mhm.
going there to be entertained.
Mhm.
So it's like you can hear the music and just be like, okay, dope, I heard the music,
Mm-hmm.
but you actually want to see someone with your eyes too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and so if you're able to put on a show and keep people like engaged,
Right.
that's a big thing.
You
don't
can
wanna
just-
bore 'em.
You can listen to music on your phone, stereo.
Exactly.
But when you go to a show, you go for like interaction with the crowd, with like dancing, moshing, whatever it may be, and like
Mhm.
seeing how the band interacts with the crowd and just like presents to you,
Correct. Yeah.
which is fun. It's very a lot of theatrics, I guess, would you say?
Which we're learning, but I always thought, like I was telling this guy the other day, like I figured if I just kept playing the guitar,
Mhm.
I would be able to do it without looking one day. But the fact is, you have to practice without looking. and you have to practice rocking out when there's nobody around, because you get up on stage and you kind of get sucked into the guitar for a second for the solo, and you just start drooling over the thing. And it's, I don't know, you want to keep people entertained and jump around, and I think people like that.
I always thought that might be the hardest part when I was like thinking about being in a band. I was like, how do I play and look at people and know what I'm doing on the guitar? That's something I'll never understand. It's so hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
You got to practice that as well as the music.
For sure.
This guy's always flipping his sticks around.
Oh,
like
yeah.
this, like tricks. Yeah.
I mean, sorry.
I was gonna say, to put it in perspective on how much he practices with his sticks and drum pads, he was out of town, and I had a dream of him practicing, and it woke me up, and I got up to ask him to politely stop because it was 6 a.m. I have dreams about him practicing. He practices so much.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Here's the thing about music and performing. It's like you gotta play like every single time you play, like you gotta picture where you want to be. And for us, that's like Madison Square Garden, like full audience. So we practice like that, and we also practice like we're putting on a show that's that scale.
Right.
And it's like I practice a lot, and it sometimes gets on people's nerves, but we work it out. And if I like, the reason behind that is like I want to really immerse myself in percussion. So it's like every second of the day that I have that I can like do anything with my time, like it's going to be drums, just so I can like really like become one with that.
Like even if you're driving, just like practicing on the wheels,
Literally,
like that.
dude.
Just like, yeah.
I dropped him off or something, and then the whole way back from Denver, I'm just like practicing this one stick flip down, trying to get down.
I mean, I think that's the best way to become like a great musician, though. Just like make it your entire life, but like not like to where it overcomes you, but just like integrate it with everything that you do already. So
Yeah,
I can respect that for sure. But I guess I see with drums how that can be a little invasive. Is it loud a lot in the house with that?
no, these guys are great. It's loud, yeah, but they're great.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Living together as a whole band, is that like fun at all? Is it like, I mean, I'm sure it is, but is it like ever like too much? Do you guys see each other?
Yeah, I mean,
easy to practice every day.
yeah.
true.
Well, we do set a time. It's
Mhm.
like we play in the evening. Sometimes we'll do individual practice throughout the day if we have the time. I mean, I'm at work most of the time. These guys are at school, so it's
Get
we
time away.
yeah, and then we come back to it at the night and get a good 2 or 3 hours. And if it's a weekend, sometimes we can get a lot of hours in. But we're usually all together when we're practicing,
There you go.
so never gets too
Mhm.
annoying or anything.
Yeah.
So we're all in there. So.
It's honestly nice.
Yeah.
It's I want to say it's kind of like a dream come true, because
Mhm.
like I'll go to bed, and like if he's still practicing, like I just love that. Like
Mhm.
I just
Yeah.
like just going to bed and like hearing him work, like I don't know, because it never stops. It's
Yeah.
like perpetual.
And I guess it puts some faith in you guys too. It's like, okay, we're all really in this. Like we're all dedicated, because I think that's like the big like downfall, and like I guess the Achilles of so many bands is one or two members are not as into it as the others, and some people think it's like, oh, we're just doing this while we're in college, it's for whatever, and then the other two are like, no, but this is like what I want to do with my life, and like not being able to agree on that can like split a
Drag you
band.
down,
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
Just gotta be honest with yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Be honest with each other. So, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, so you have a cat in the house, though.
We have a cat.
Yeah.
I love
That's
cats.
my-
I'm
that's
sorry.
my child.
Did she come with you, or they come with you from California?
Oh no! So when me and Carson first moved out, it had rolled into summer, and all of our friends went home. We left home. This had become our new home. We had an apartment, and everyone went everywhere they lived for the summer, and we were lonely. And so
Yeah.
I looked at him and said, "Let's go get a cat."
Yeah.
And so we went and got a cat that day.
There you go.
Right
Drove
on
all the way to
spot.
Colorado Springs.
Drove down to
Picked him up in a
Really?
box. Yeah.
So you didn't like go to like the shelter? You just like found someone?
Yeah. Apparently he didn't get along with their kids,
Oh.
the little babies, and I don't know why. He's the greatest cat ever.
Mhm.
He's a
Yeah,
chiller,
I
but
just went on Craigslist and
Yeah.
was trying to find him, and best cat ever.
Yeah.
He's my boy.
What's
Yeah.
his name?
His name is Kakashi.
Kakashi
Kakashi
Sensei.
Sensei from Naruto.
I was gonna ask, where's that from?
Yeah.
But there you go.
We call him Kashi. Kosh man. Kosh.
Mm-hmm.
Kakashi.
Just write a song about him or something.
I don't think he
Pretty cool.
minds too much with the music.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll come
He's so
upstairs
chill.
after 2 hours of practicing, and his hair's all like matted, like he just woke up. He's like, hey, what's going on? Like he's been sleeping the whole time.
Yeah.
He's mostly an outside cat.
Sometimes we'll have our boys over and he'll just sit down in the circle and pretend like he's part of the conversation.
Yeah.
I think we gotta paint a picture. He's a black cat, but he's got like streaks of like white and gray, and he has this like voluptuous mane just
Mhm.
like
Gorgeous.
around his neck. It's so sick, and it like frays out, and it's white.
He looks like he's got a lion's mane with tiger stripes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, green eyes.
That's awesome.
It's majestic.
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
he sounds like very majestic.
Yeah.
Sounds like very pretty. But
Yeah.
sorry, I'll get back to music. But I just had to talk about the cat. I was so
I'll-
interested.
I'll-
I'm like annoying about it, but
Doesn't do his job either. He's still got mice in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, he
He's a
likes
picky
to
eater.
kill outside things instead of what's inside.
Yeah.
He doesn't really kill. Okay, so there's these bunnies, like little baby bunnies. I don't know where he gets them from,
oh no.
but he hops over the fence with these bunnies.
Jim screaming.
Yeah,
Jim
it's so
screaming over
bad.
the fence.
He doesn't kill them; they're okay. But he
Okay.
drops
Yeah.
them in like the
Just-
little window wells. And I remember like going to take a shower downstairs, and I look out the window, and there's just a baby bunny. And I'm like,
Trapped.
why is before I knew that Kashi did this, he got rescued. He's cool.
Mhm. There you go.
Yeah, we call him Chunk.
Dang, it sounds vicious though. Now I'm scared. But-
Oh no, he's great. He's a great cat. He doesn't hurt any humans, but he loves to mess around with little rodents. and
Yeah.
stuff. He never kills them. Just you watch him, pat him on the head,
Well,
flip him across the yard.
There's a few fur balls in our back.
Oh no.
Could have been from other sources. We don't know. Not
Other cats in
confirmed.
the neighborhood. You never know. Can't blame him. Innocent until proven guilty. So, but as far as like, so I guess I want to get more into like writing songs and like making songs for you instead of just like the sound and the background and everything. Is it more like based on your sound and like your music and your instruments, or are you more like a lyrics band? Because I feel like that's a big like two separate camps for people sometimes, or is it both? I don't know.
Definitely both.
I'd probably say make a lot of our music together.
Mhm.
Sound wise, we all come forth and we all add what we kind of think would be good for it. We try different things over and over again,
Mhm.
seeing what we like and what we don't like. And I would say lyrics wise, I'll do writing,
Mhm.
and I kind of just need help with something or a word or two. I'll
Mhm.
just be like, hey guys, what do you think I should put here?
Yeah.
Or like maybe if I'm stumped with a theme or something like that, if we want to have a theme for a song, I'll maybe ask out for okay, what do we want to talk about this song?
Right.
Anything that you guys want to talk about specific. I guess we'll just kind of go off that.
Right.
And then I'll sit down when I want, or else
Mhm.
in practice sometimes too, and just come up with stuff, just write it down on the spot.
Yeah. So you're kind of like the main writer. It just kind of like forms everyone's ideas together.
Mhm.
What do you guys like draw on, like experiences wise, or like do you like what's your inspiration for like actually writing a story?
For me at least, the way I put it is a lot of garbage, a lot of shit in this world. I should say
Mhm.
that's likes to alter our reality or likes to derail us from our common goal in life and likes to distract us, I should probably say.
Yeah.
And we kind of use music and we kind of use each other to kind of keep us centered, and kind of keep us where we need to be almost. And some of those things that distract us can make you feel a lot of different ways. There's a lot of people who are in bad parts of their lives, or in, I should say, dark spots of their lives. A lot of people in good spots of their lives. But I mean, you reach those areas kind of just based on your life experiences, and you learn a lot from those, I'd say. And I guess maybe our goal is to try and facilitate that to other people, I should say.
Yeah.
Maybe facilitate's not the greatest word, but show other people that it's like you're fine. It's
Mhm.
like whatever's going on, it's like it's cool. You're
Yeah.
right where you need to be, kind of at the end of the day.
So you said
Yeah.
a common goal. What do you think is the common goal for everyone?
Honestly, just making sure you hit your pillow at night, just like knowing you're fine
Yeah.
and knowing the people around you care about you, knowing that like I say, yeah, you're not alone pretty much in this chaos of a world right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's truer now more than ever. But I think that's what they say every time. So
Mm-hmm.
but man, especially now. So
Yeah.
I like that though. That's pretty
Mhm.
positive. Yeah.
Like a lot of these kids our age are going through that.
Yeah.
You don't really know who you are, what you want to be. I mean, what you're doing in the next 30 seconds, for God's sakes. And
Yeah.
likes to mess with people's heads a lot, I feel like. So
Yeah.
it's kind of have the same common goal. Be like, hey, you're fine, you're happy.
Mhm.
Like we're all here on the same planet Earth together.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just staying grounded, staying
Yeah.
focused, kind of not focusing on things that are distractions or trying to take away from your like actual physical experience, maybe. So I feel like that's a big problem. Always, as I say, I have my phone in my hand, but you know,
just like I feel like a lot of people don't realize they're human at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
we're all just sitting here on this rock doing whatever. But I mean, you go to bed at night. I mean, we're all the same thing. Whereas, and I just feel like a lot of people don't really understand that fully, or like to put themselves on a pedestal above other people, and it's just like,
yeah.
nope.
I guess it's hard to like kind of demote yourself. It's like that's a whole like philosophical tangent we could get on, but it's
I
like,
mean, it's not even like honestly like demo. It's just honestly like humbling yourself.
yeah,
Kind of just figuring out like what, like just acknowledge what you have
Mhm.
and be thankful for what you have.
yeah,
A lot of people don't have that.
for sure.
I feel like we've all been pretty blessed to see or to have what we do.
Yeah.
Mm.
And like working for it, I guess, kind of like makes you realize how privileged you are, and that it's nothing wrong with being privileged, but being aware of it, I think, is what's important for sure.
Stay
Mhm.
humble.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, composition wise, other than lyrics, it's like, obviously we just want to make it sound dope most
Yeah.
of the time, but we definitely try to tailor the lyrics together where they're at. And like I said, the whole like crowd work thing,
Mhm.
kind of testing the waters, the amount of crap that our songs go through before they're at their full, full capacity. Yeah, we'll play a song and then the next show it's totally different. you
Really?
know? Yeah. And actually one of the things I love about Josh's piece in this new song, Will says lightning crashes and
Mhm.
Josh hits the tones like
Ooh.
that. I don't know. Trying to bring it all together and like work off each other is definitely important.
Oh yeah.
We can all bring our own parts, but unless we work together
Mhm.
and like you gotta step back, read the lyrics. When's
Mhm.
Josh's kick? What's his bass line look like?
Someone
Right.
writes a verse, he'll write a chorus, he'll drop a drum line, we'll go, okay, that'll fit here. Take this, we'll put it here. This goes
Mhm.
here. And so
Yeah, at that point it's a blueprint, and it's
Mhm.
like we kind of have an idea, but at the end of the day, you got to bring it all back together, make
Right.
it flow. You want people to just be able to sit back and not even realize that the music is making them feel how they're feeling.
Yeah.
Make it flow really nicely.
We want it to be subtle and not like really jagged and like very obvious, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think lyrics wise too, you want it to be that way. Because I just only ask that because I know that so many genres like will draw from so many different experiences. Like we were talking about pop earlier, and like most of that genre is about like romance and love and past relationships or partying and things like that. And it's like, and then certain genres, which I feel like maybe the genre you guys fit into, like very 70s-esque, Jethro Tull, Led Zeppelin, things like that. They tell like grand stories, like just all these like different interesting stories that aren't even related to like maybe people in their lives. So I always ask that because it's like you can really tell a story about anything. It doesn't even have to be like something from your life,
Yeah.
So
It was definitely a big battle to like figure out what the heck we want to talk about.
mm-hmm.
Like what do we want to say?
Mm-hmm.
At one point, I was just keeping a list of cool stuff that I heard, a cool word I'd hear.
Pan Jam.
Yeah.
It's a great list.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we have a whole Dr. Smoke, one of our songs. That whole song was created off that list of just
Really?
cool
Yeah.
stuff. It's cool words.
Just a cool idea.
He's on fire.
And another one, Attic Monkey.
Attic Monkey.
That day,
Yeah.
Carson and I were looking at electrician terms.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of cool terminology in the world of electricians.
They really are.
Electrician, they call him attic.
Well, they're called attic, like an attic in a house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I thought he said addict. And
Attic
so now, and I like that more. So now it's Attic Monkey.
Attic
Has it
Monkey sounds
been
like a
Attic
cool.
Monkey this whole time?
Yeah, it's whatever you want it to be.
I thought you were talking. I thought you've been
That's what I
saying
thought too.
No,
Addict.
It's a working title.
Yeah. Addict Monkey. That's like a cool band name, though. Honestly, I would steal that from you guys if it wasn't already in the works. But that's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
definitely I don't know, it feels like we're kind of at a place right now where I feel like people are running out of ideas, like like a lot of films now are recreations. A lot of bands now are recreations, and it's like people are coming up with some funky band names these days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to bag on my people in Fort Collins, I love these guys, but Plastic Forearm, the little punk band up there, that's a crazy name right there.
Oh yeah. I mean, so there's like this one house that does like punk and like hardcore punk shows up in Fort Collins that I've been to a couple times. It's just literally an address, and there's like just the craziest bands that come out of there, or they'll travel from Wyoming, and I'm like, I guess you guys have a lot of free time to just think of all these crazy things to do and like name your band after. But I totally respect it. It's like so cool. It's very inspiring. So yeah, Attic Monkey though. I'm like still in on that. That's pretty cool. But all right. So what's like in the future for you guys though? Like that's a very broad question. But you said there's a new song coming up.
Well, it's been an ongoing discussion because we want to time it right. To like when we actually release our stuff, we want it to be perfect, which maybe it never will be. I always talk about Van Halen. Their album is like 5 years after they started playing there, just around. So it's they developed their sound. They came up with awesome songs. Obviously, that album is huge. So we're finally starting to venture into studios. And, get songs on the books. Now that we know our sound, I don't want to. I've made the mistake of prematurely releasing music. Like the night we write a song, record it, throw it on Spotify. And it's fun. And that was kind of when we were just doing it for kicks, But now that we want to be a little more serious and see how far we can take this, we're trying to plan it out.
Which is all the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So would you say beforehand you guys were just like self-recording, self-making like on GarageBand, things like that, or just in your house?
That was him by himself.
Yeah, that was him by himself. That was
Yeah, the boys back in Bakersfield. We played a lot more niche music back in the day. My buddies who like hip hop a lot, and I was just getting into some of that older music. Santana, I loved Santana at the time, so it was a cool little sound we had. But like I said, we'd record a song and then throw it out that night, and the next morning I wake up and be like, oh, this part could have been so much cooler, and I already have all these ideas, and we want to find the right producer who can make us sound how we want to sound.
Yeah. What's in the future in terms of live shows?
That's a great question. That's kind of where I was also going with that question too.
Well, we really want to play everywhere in Colorado. Colorado is our home, and we want to, get the people aware of us and just see like how they feel about the music. It's been a good reception so far in Fort Collins and our show in Denver. But yeah, we want to play in Colorado. A tour is on the horizon. It's not formulated.
No, yeah.
But before then, Colorado for sure. And we're going to get some music out and some more music out. So yeah,
And then for shows wise,
we'll be at the Black Buzzard on June 16th. We got some shows in Fort Collins. We're probably going to be in the studio at the end of May and early June.
Yeah.
And then we got some stuff next November and October, which is a while.
Wow.
We're filling it up. But yeah, no, a lot of shows in Colorado to come soon.
Oh yeah. So you're thinking of like a Colorado tour with this tour? Are you thinking of maybe doing a West Coast tour? Or just
well, we all have connects. We know some bands back in California. And there's unlimited venues out there.
Oh, yeah.
We want to get up to Minnesota.
Yeah, actually, we're looking at that for
first.
July.
Yeah, we want to get up north first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Just you should do like just a whole across America.
Well, you
look at a
gotta play the shows.
Yeah.
Gotta play the shows. If you want people. We don't.
You also need money to make that work.
And like a tour
Yeah,
tour
totally.
bus or a van or something. I don't know.
We've talked about it.
it takes
Some-
money to make money.
Does take money.
Oh, yeah.
I
I think
we'll draw on.
I remember hearing of like my friends' bands, and they were like trying to tour, and they were like, we were eating gas station food every day and like had no money at the end of it.
Yeah.
Or and I see another thing that's really prevalent with like touring bands, especially with their cars, is like they get broken into when they're staying overnight somewhere with all their gear. It's like it is hard. Like it's very hard.
I locked my truck just out front there. I was kind of sketched out, leaving all of our gear just in the back of my truck.
Right, because you guys are recording. Are you recording after this?
Oh yeah, going straight to the studio after
wow.
this. So we brought all of our stuff.
There you go. are you guys recording at?
Just on the street. It's on campus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Could not tell you the name of the studio, but it's a
I
studio
wouldn't know either.
somewhere.
Here.
Yeah, I think that I know we have some recording studio here that people use, but I couldn't tell you what it's called or where it is. So,
Okay.
but I've heard really good things about it. So,
Cool.
there you
Yeah, we
go.
saw some pictures. It looks pretty big. We've only had one real studio experience.
Mhm.
Well, now two, if you count the other. But the blasting room up in Fort Collins, a lot of big names would come out of there. But it was our first time. We picked the smallest room, like it was the size of this room. And we have all of our gear. We tried doing live takes,
Mhm.
which means I'm cranked. Josh is ripping on the drums. The bass is rumbling. Will's screaming. So, well, he did his vocals again after, but I
Mhm.
mean, live takes, there's so much bleed that it's really hard to get a good mix.
Yeah.
And we were sweaty because we were in there for 11 hours. So it was
Oh,
just
yeah.
stinky and gross. And
Yeah.
they didn't end up turning out how we wanted them to.
Mm.
So that was a bit of a money waster, but we got
No,
the
it's good
experience.
experience.
Yeah.
Good experience.
That's the big takeaway, is just like learning what a studio is like, what the vibe is like, how long you expect to be there, things like that. Because,
Yeah. How long can you keep it up?
oh, yeah, 11 hours is a long time, but I've heard of
Too long.
too long.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of bands going for like a whole day, and I'm like, that's inhumane. Like, don't do that to yourself. Or people who work in the studios. Oh, man. But
Yeah, this weekend we have 2 6-hour sessions, which
There you go.
should make it a little bit
Mm.
easier.
take up most of your day, but it won't be too hard or anything like that.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah. Do you guys typically, so for venues though, like, do you typically play like smaller shows, kind of like bars, things like that?
Oh,
or things?
Involuntarily, yeah. We'd like them to be massive.
Mhm.
It's kind of hit or miss with like advertising,
Mm.
where social media is obviously a huge player.
Yeah.
We try to hand out flyers personally. Word of mouth is huge.
Mhm.
So I think we're expanding our audience.
Yeah.
The goal is to be able to sell out these huge
Right.
theaters, huge stadiums.
For
which
sure.
I think that's the
Mm.
goal.
We,
whoever you
yeah.
are.
We do everything we can, like flyers, posters, like anything you can think of, advertisements. We do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like day of the show, it's all like happenstance. Like whoever shows up. I mean, it doesn't change our performance. Like we're gonna play like there's tens of thousands of people out there, and we're gonna give them a show. But like, you just can't worry about that
Yeah.
because, you just gotta do your best.
Yeah. Do you have like a substantial like group of people that kind of follow you around, or is it still kind of like
Oh, yeah. The band, when we say it, like we're the band,
Mhm.
we kind of use that as like a universal tune. We have so many people who are in the band,
Right.
Because there are people that are just dedicated.
Mhm.
They want to come out, have a good time with us.
Yeah.
And obviously, our close team,
Mhm.
they're part of the band.
Yeah.
Because
True friends, yeah.
everybody does it
All
for
of
the
our
love of
stuff.
music.
I like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's really nice. So as far as venues go, what's been your favorite venue to play so far? Or like what's been like, is there like a craziest show you guys have?
My mom just asked me this. I didn't know how to answer.
I know that's such a, like a typical question, but I am curious.
We had a pretty huge show, homecoming
Mhm.
over at CSU. I mean, at one point it was just a sea of people, which was awesome. And I think that's what made the music so good, because we were so wild.
Mhm.
We were so amped up that it just makes the music so much better when we're amped,
Mhm.
because we're dialed, we're on, we're screaming, and I don't know. I love it when there's a ton of people like that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
our homecoming show was a huge one.
And that was just like most recent.
When was that?
Just like last fall.
Yeah, for sure.
Last fall.
October 5th. This guy.
Got it memorized. Yeah. Wow. That's
Yeah,
pretty
we
insane.
shot an Aggie show pretty recently that was
Right. You
pretty
guys
awesome.
mentioned
We had, I think, just over 100 people come to that one.
that. Wow. I've only been to Fort Collins, I think, twice. So, I mean, I have like cousins who go to school up there, but I've never been to the Aggie. So I don't know how to picture it.
It's a cool
Yeah.
place.
Pretty big.
It's like the Fillmore's grandkid.
Yeah,
I see. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it maxes out, I think, like 300 people. Or
Mhm.
is it 600? The
Oh,
coast is
yeah.
300.
Yeah. Yeah. So with this new stuff that you're writing, are you planning to make a whole album out of it? Single?
We
LP?
have. Yeah. We have an album's worth of material. It's just a matter of like, can we get it all recorded
Mhm.
like
The
how
way
we
we
want?
want it
Yeah.
recorded.
Right.
But, this single, it's a newer one, and it's really, really sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really.
It sounds
um,
cool.
It's one of the more hard songs that we have.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of people want us. I mean, I don't know, every time we have a show, people are like, so where's the music? Where's the merch, man? And we've kind of been slacking, but we want to make sure that we time it right. You know,
Mhm.
it's like we drop this single, it's got to be good. We don't want to just fart out some song just to please people because it's not gonna please them.
For sure. Has it been like a struggle finding a recording artist that like can like respect your vision or like get it made?
Well, we haven't really been around the block
Right, or
enough
just
to.
like, experimenting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, I think we could definitely do some work just in our basement. We have the equipment, but it's all about finding someone who wants to develop your sound and
Right.
help you out with things and put the time in. We can't mix this up. Mixing is a whole nother realm that I didn't even realize.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a whole other language.
Yeah.
You look at
Yeah.
the computer, and there's so many
Tell 'em.
tabs.
Tell people.
You can't. I just.
Well,
yeah.
we can. It just might not be the best.
You can try, I guess.
Yeah.
But
We could try.
yeah, for sure. Well, that's pretty cool. So I'm trying to think of any other questions I have written down here. I mean, I was going to ask, like, in general, obviously, are you more like of an albums band? Because I know some bands just, write songs here and there and just play. But it sounds like you guys are really dedicated to like having like these albums come out. Are they like all gonna like tie together? Or are they just kind of like their own thing?
Well,
Can
I mean, the music comes when it wants to come.
Yeah.
It's like ideas spark just out of nowhere. And we definitely don't want to be a studio band,
Yeah.
We want to be a live band
Mm-hmm.
that releases music.
Okay.
So we always just try to stick on our grind.
Mm-hmm.
Practice what we already have, upgrade it, practice our performance. And then new music kind of just comes out of nowhere. Me and this guy will be jamming out. Cool riff.
Oh yeah.
Will like it, come out of his room, and you're like, oh, and start writing a little bit, and then it, kind of just goes from there.
Spirals into something.
Mm-hmm.
The whole process.
It's very like DIY. It just comes out of nowhere.
It's fun though.
Yeah.
Fun.
No, that sounds really fun. No, that sounds.
It sucks too.
Oh yeah. So it's
It
fun,
really
but it also sucks.
You definitely hit a plateau sometimes where you just keep playing the same thing you've already made a song about, and you're just like, what do I do?
Where are we
Mhm.
going here?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Sure, on the creative aspect, you're like, all right, enough for the night.
Mhm.
Peace
Yeah.
out.
Sometimes it's just a grind night where you practice your songs. Some nights you feel in it
Mhm.
and you can figure
Yeah.
something out that's new and it just flows out of you, and it depends on the night.
Yeah. Would you say more recently that's been kind of a plateau, or are you guys feeling really good?
No, I think we've been doing
You-
great.
yeah.
Because we've taken not a break from gigs, but just, there's a gap. We
Yeah.
had like 4 weeks in a row where it was just gigs.
Oh my
And
god.
so we're just practicing our set, playing what we already have, and there was no room for real creativity.
Mhm.
But now we've been able to just chill out. Don't have to just ram out all these sets. So we've come up with a few new ideas.
Oh yeah.
We're
Well,
hoping
sounds
to-
pretty fun. Pretty
Yeah.
exciting. Sounds of lightning, things like that.
Yeah,
That's what I heard.
yeah.
So
Thunder crashes at the sound of my
that sounds awesome. I'm pretty excited. So yeah, I mean, just like the general vibe is like when I listen to it, it's very, very 70s, which I mean that's a very deep compliment. Like that is one of like the greatest eras of music, I think. So
Thank you.
trying to imitate that and doing it really well and almost I would say like perfectly is a big feat to accomplish. So exciting. I'm excited. I'll be keeping an ear out. We have like a show, like an actual like broadcast coming out, I think, once the fall semester starts, and be sure to put music in rotation from you guys
Cool.
if it comes out within
Yeah.
that time.
Cool.
So yeah. I can't think of anything else to ask. I feel like I've exhausted you guys. just gone through everything. So
Have fun.
cool.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool,
Thank
cool.
you.
Thank you.